coming to you live from downtown Windsor. This is a St. Clair College MediaPlex production.
Good evening, I'm Zachary Bellog.
And I'm Joelle Broussard, and you are watching the MediaPlex Insider.
Update, here's Constable Lauren Briscoe.
On February 16th, shortly before 6 a.m., officers responded to an active fire in the 700 block of Elliott Point Road in Amherstburg. A newly built home was engulfed in flames when emergency crews arrived. The home was fully destroyed in the blaze, and the roof of the neighboring residence sustained damage. The fire is being treated as suspicious. The structure was vacant at the time of the incident, and no physical injuries were caused by the blaze. Investigators are asking any residents to check their surveillance or dash cam footage for possible evidence. If you know any information, you're asked to contact the Windsor Police Arson Unit. You can also contact Windsor-Essex County Crime Stoppers at 519-258-8477 or go online at catchcrooks.com. I am Police Coordinator Lauren Briscoe.
Now we have Dale Kabukian to tell us more about the OPP Women's Initiative.
Who run the world?
Women!
More and more women are joining law enforcement.
Last year, the Ontario Provincial Police requested different educational institutions for women applicants to join the police force. The OPP says they were pleased to welcome 96 students who attended information sessions from December to January, 44 of whom attended one or more sessions. 11 students from St. Clair College participated in this women initiative. Chair of Community Studies Biagio Latuca expresses pride in the college's collaboration with the OPP to promote diversity in law enforcement.
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's much needed. Obviously, we love diversity, and we love that, the women want to be a part of this, this trend and this growing community of, police force in Windsor and Essex County.
Third-year Police Foundation student Mallory Cole is one of the participants in the Women Initiative. She says she is now processing her application to join the police force.
I think one of the most important things that we covered throughout the OPP Women's Initiative was the 10 areas of assessment and how to make myself a stronger candidate. They gave us really great feedback and really great tips on what to add to our application to make it stronger.
The OPP says they will continue offering mentorship to prepare attendees for law enforcement. For the MediaPlex, I am Dale Kabukian.
If you've noticed the complete absence of a pottery studio locally, you're not alone. Joelle Broussard introduces us to two women looking to tap into the unfulfilled market.
There's a new pottery studio coming soon to Ford City.
The studio is being opened by two local women, Giselle Bick and Lisa Gabriel.
And what inspired us both to start the studio in Windsor was that there isn't one. There's one in Tecumseh, and of course Giselle teaches out in Bell River, but there isn't one in a big, city like Windsor. And it just felt like such an opportunity because, when I was getting back into pottery, so were a lot of people. And I think we all crave, an opportunity to be expressive and to use our hands again in this, era of AI and computers and our phones. It allows us to sort of sink back into an activity that I think we all did as kids. And
with pottery growing more in popularity, the ladies thought this was the perfect time to bring their studio to Ford City.
It's going to be a great place for people to come together as a community and work together and build beautiful things and just get back to having fun.
The studio should be arriving to Ford City around mid-April, but for more details, you can always check their website, www.fordcitypotters.com. For the MediaPlex, I'm Joelle Broussard.
St. Patrick's Day is fast approaching, and Elias St. Aubin is with us to take a look at the man behind the holiday, St. Patrick himself.
Everyone knows St. Patrick's Day, the one day of the year where everyone wears green, drinks a little too much, and eats special food. If nothing else, it's a celebration of Irish culture. But what are his roots? Well, it originally was an Irish holiday that observed the death of St. Patrick. St. Patrick was the patron saint of Ireland around the 5th century. He wasn't actually from Ireland, though, but in fact, he was from a wealthy family in England. At 16, he was taken prisoner by a group of Irish raiders. He was a prisoner for about 6 years. After he was released from captivity, he would go on to spread the word of Christianity throughout Ireland. He did it a little bit differently from other preachers, however. He would incorporate traditional rituals into his lessons of Christianity instead of attempting to eradicate native Irish beliefs. For example, he superimposed the sun, which was a powerful Irish symbol, onto a cross and created the Celtic cross. St. Patrick's Day is March 17th, and now you can amaze your friends and family with the truth of where St. Patrick's Day comes from.
The 77th Annual BAFTA Awards took place this past weekend. Who was the best supporting actress? I asked the question, and Haley Global has all the answers.
Da'Vine Joy Randolph continues to dominate award season. On Sunday, she won the Supporting Actress BAFTA for her role in The Holdovers. In the film, Randolph portrays Mary Lamb, a grieving head cook at a New England boarding school. During her acceptance speech, Randolph got emotional while speaking about how meaningful it was to play her character in the Alexander Payne-directed film.
Mary was a character that was so much bigger than me. She shows us all that what is possible when you look beyond your differences and how healing the simple act of empathy can be. There have been countless Marys throughout history who have never got the chance to wear a beautiful gown and stand on this stage here in London. Telling her story is a responsibility that I do not take lightly, and this award is a beautiful reminder of how her story has rippled through the world. Thank you so much.
Randolph has already won a Golden Globe and Critics' Choice Award for her performance earlier this year. She is also nominated for an Oscar and Screen Actors Guild Award, both soon approaching ceremonies.
For the MediaPlex, I'm Haley Goebel.
The St. Clair Saints men's basketball team are in the midst of another playoff run. Jesse LaRouche has more.
It's playoff time here at the Sportsplex. You know what that means. Win, you stay in, lose, you go home. And if there's one thing for sure, St. Clair, the reigning champs, are not trying to go home. As the game tipped off Saturday at the Sportsplex, it started off with Lassie Tay putting up a fight. But that didn't last long, as the Saints got a little bit of inspiration from the women's softball team, who unveiled their second banner in 2 years. The men's basketball team, who was looking to do the same, started playing like they had a repeat in mind, outscoring Lassie Tay by 43 while doing it in style. With championship hopes alive and well, the Saints are looking to accomplish a feat that hasn't been done in a decade.
Yeah, so the OCAA is super competitive. The last time there was back-to-back winners, I think, was 11-12 Sheridan. We're in 2024 now, so it doesn't happen a lot. These guys know that, but we're relying on our vets and our new faces.
While the Saints may be eyeing back-to-back OCAA gold, team captain Josiah Deere has his eyes on a national championship, and he says the plan is simple.
Just take it game by game and try to get that gold and go back-to-back and then try to get a national championship too.
The Saints will continue their playoff push next week at home versus Centennial. For MediaPlex, I'm Jesse LaRouche.
The Windsor Spitfires are winding down their season with an eye towards the future. Cam Segan takes a deeper dive into this June's NHL draft.
For everybody wanting the highest chance at the #1 overall pick in the OHL draft this year, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. The Windsor Spitfires have been playing some pretty good hockey as of late, and they now sit third last in the league. Playing .500 hockey down the stretch isn't the most glamorous situation to be in, but in a rebuilding year, it bodes well for the future. Speaking of that future, the NHL draft is fast approaching, and the Spits have multiple players that will be drafted. At the top of the list is Liam Greentree, who is a surefire first-round selection. He'll likely be the second OHL player taken in the draft behind London's Sam Dickinson. There are two other players from that star-studded 2022 OHL draft class who will also be drafted. Anthony Cristoforo came into the year as a potential first-round pick, and while he definitely won't be taken that high, he will be taken at some point. As the club's #1 defenseman at only 17 years old, this season has been very up and down. Nonetheless, defensemen with his offensive talent are always highly coveted. After a slow start, AJ Spellacy has taken his game to the next level since the trade deadline. Forming a productive second line with Colton Smith and Noah Morneau, Spellacy has all the physical gifts that make NHL scouts froth at the mouth. At 6'3" and at least 195 pounds, he possesses a ridiculous combination of speed and physicality. If he continues to play with the ferocity he's shown in the last 2 or so months, he could be an early round pick in the NHL draft.
Women's hockey is thriving, and the Wildcats are leading the way. Jackson Gallant sat down with the coach this week.
Hello, everyone. I am here with Southwest Wildcats U22 Elite head coach Kayla Ranuski. Kayla, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me out today.
So, how long have you been the head coach for the Wildcats?
This is my 3rd year coaching. I've actually been with the Wildcats for 8 years, but my 3rd year as head coach, so it's been a blast.
Okay, nice. And what originally got you into wanting to take up coaching?
So I wanted to stay involved in women's hockey. I finished my hockey career at St. Lawrence University, and I was going into teachers college, and I'm currently a teacher now, and I wanted to be involved with the youth. So actually, one of my best friend's sisters was coaching Southwest at the time, and she reached out to me and asked if I wanted to get involved, and I said absolutely. I want to give young girls the opportunity that I had growing up, and the experience that I had and all the memories that I had, and that's something that I wanted to give back to the girls. So that's kind of why I got into coaching, and I've loved it ever since.
All right, cool. And so obviously groups, the team players interchange a lot, but what has been your favorite part about coaching this group specifically?
I've been really blessed to have such a great group of girls. There's not really one thing I can pick from this group. Every time they show up to the rink, they work hard. We have a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, a lot of memories. They're just a really hardworking, positive bunch of girls. They ask a lot of questions. They're eager to get better. They want to learn, and they work hard for me and my coaching staff. So that's all you can really ask from a group of girls.
Yeah, for sure. And on the flip side of that, what is one of the biggest challenges that comes with coaching a group like this?
We always have our ups and downs. It's a very long season, right? We started in September, we end in April, and then just kind of sticking together as a team and overcoming those challenges. And I think that's what this group has done, and what makes them such a special group is those challenges that we have faced. We've overcome them as a group of 18 in our coaching staff. So you're always going to have challenges, but it's kind of how you come together as a group. And I think our group has done a really good job at that.
For sure. And lastly, what is some advice you'd give to young girls that would want to get into the sport?
My advice is don't be afraid to fall. And I know that sounds funny, but anytime you're learning how to skate, right, you always are going to fall. And don't be afraid to fall, because you always get back up. And that goes even with like learning to make mistakes. And that's something I preach to my girls, even at this level. Embrace that mistake, and that's how you get better. And then when you get back up, if you fall again, just keep getting back up, because it's such a fun game. It's been such a big part of my life for 27 years, and all the memories, all the experiences that I've had. It's such a great sport to play and a great sport to be involved in. So if you fall, don't be afraid to get back up, because you'll have a blast.
All right, awesome. Thank you again so much for coming on. We've just spent 3 minutes with Wildcats head coach Kayla Ranuski. For the MediaPlex, I'm Jackson Gallant.
Now on to weather. It's February, but it feels like March. On Wednesday, it will be 10 Celsius with a chance of showers. Thursday, more showers with a high of 7, and Friday, it will be 3 with a mix of sun and clouds. The spring-like temperatures will continue into next week. Our power panel recaps the Super Bowl. Let's have a look.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Let's Talk. I'm here with my power panel.
Ksenia Semenova. I'm Riley Livingston. I'm Pauline Bunyay.
And I got a question. Are you ready for some football? Woo. Well, the Super Bowl was last Sunday, where the Chiefs faced against the 49ers to see who would take the trophy home. Last week, it was reported that the game was the most watched telecast in history, with over 123 million viewers. Now, there were a lot of wholesome moments, such as, commercials, the halftime performance, and all I gotta ask is, what'd you guys think?
I wasn't in this 123 of millions people.
You didn't watch it?
I don't know nothing about football and sports. For me, it's like Super Bowl. Why it's a bowl? Like, I told about you guys before. For me, I imagine a Super Bowl of ramen.
Okay.
So yes, it's like Super Bowl, but I understand that for millions of people, it's the most important moment in their year. What's happening, especially with all the celebrities that were there. Mm-hmm. More than 30 celebrities, I think, were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big deal.
For some, it's like the most important moment in their life.
Yeah, some people, especially if that's the player's first time going to a Super Bowl, thousands and thousands of dollars for tickets, right, to go see it. I thought it was good. I didn't see the beginning because I had to work, so I was like rushing home to go see it. But I thought it was a good game. I normally don't really follow the football game, but I can follow the football game, so it was an interesting game to follow. And then I really just watched for commercials and halftime show, which I thought were pretty good.
Yeah, I have to say, you know, I enjoyed the whole aspect of it, even though I went to Twitter to get the highlights, but I loved the Super Bowl commercials, especially the Twisters movie trailer, which was so good. I felt like I was transported back to 1996, and it was just great. I mean, Taylor was there.
Yes.
I mean,
she was the talk of the evening.
Let's be clear. That's why I really watched it, because Taylor Swift was in attendance.
Yes, with her whole little group of friends. I saw Blake Lively. I saw Lana Del Rey.
Ice Spice.
Oh, yes, she was there.
She was there as well.
Yes.
And you could clearly see, like, they had to explain to her what was going on.
And my mom was wondering who gave Taylor Swift, like, the crash course in football, because she seemed to know exactly what was happening when it was happening. Like, did she follow football before? Like, somebody had to have, like, sat her down and explained, this is what's good and this is what's bad, right? Like, because there's very complicated plays that happen. You don't know whether you're supposed to be, like, happy or sad, or, like, you don't know if they're winning or not. Like, it's hard to understand. She seemed to know exactly what to do. So I was like, somebody's coached her.
Somebody in her orbit of people coached her. And what really got me was soon after it was revealed that she and her family, they went to the club afterwards to celebrate. I'm like, that's the last place I want to bring my parents is to the club. I can't have them doing this. Like,
why? But she's Taylor Swift. She's Taylor Swift, so she can take anybody who she wants anywhere.
I think her mom is always supporting her like this on the backstage.
Yes,
you know?
maybe. So what about you, Pauline? What did you think? Did you watch the game?
Well, for me, I thought I've never watched a Super Bowl never before, and I know that like I was in the house and everyone was so attentive to the TV, and I was, what is going on? And when I go to the living room, they say like Super Bowl, blah, blah, and oh cool, and I go to see, and the only thing that I see is a bunch of shots from Taylor Swift, and I'm like.
That's normally not what it's like.
Normally, no.
And I was like, what is going on? So we started playing Uno.
Yes.
And from the hearing, I heard something like, I'm Michael Cera. And I was like, I went to the commercial and I saw this Michael Cera commercial. It was hilarious.
Yes. Sarah V.
I'm Sarah V. Ha ha ha. And I started like laughing. But it's very cool. I like the commercials because I know that someone told me that they invested millions of dollars in
like
every
$1 million
commercial.
per 30 seconds for Super Bowl commercials.
For the commercial of the cream?
For the commercials of the Super Bowl.
Any Super, not just that one, but Super Bowl commercials, because there's so many people watching, there's like $1 million per second to air it on television. So they pay millions and millions of dollars to put these commercials out there. So that's why they're such a big
Think we could get this on at the Super Bowl? We need publicity, please.
I don't think so.
That's this week's episode. If you want to chime in, you can comment down below to join the conversation. And if you want to see the full episode, you can head over to the Zach Tech Productions YouTube channel. Until next time, keep talking to each other. Bye.
Bye.
Up now is another installment of Talkin' Pictures. Here's Dylan and Blake.
Mr. Ford, you made a picture called Three Bad Men, which was a large-scale Western, and you had a quite elaborate land rush in it. How did you shoot that?
With a camera.
All right, guys, welcome back to Talking Pictures. Today we got two excellent talking pictures for you guys here today. We got John Ford's Stagecoach, and we got Seven by David Fincher.
Two fantastic introduction shots of two characters that just genuinely come crashing into the frame and really make themselves known to the audience with this look of confidence, with these words of just commanding presence that really stops everybody in their tracks and makes everybody look at what's in the middle of the room or in the middle of the desert and say, man, guy means some serious business.
From minute go, Stagecoach, we've heard of this figure of nature, this Ringo Kid. Who is this Ringo Kid? Who is this Luke Plummer? And you see exactly what you need to see because he's just a force of nature. He's just that type of outlaw that commands that type of reputation. And he needs to be within their journey, because he's exactly what they need to have this sense of security for the journey to come.
The elemental force of the wild really does come into focus once John Wayne makes the introduction. And it really is required to have John Wayne on the trip because he's a jailbird, he's unpredictable, and he has his rifle. And that's something that nobody else has quite a grip on, quite like John Wayne's character in Stagecoach. Compared to 7, where nobody really has a grip on John Doe, Kevin Spacey is manic and very much in control. Even when he's on his knees with his hands behind his back, he is perhaps more in control than he ever has been. And as the ensuing car ride continues, that control just heightens and heightens, and you can really feel the grip tightening. He claims what's in the box. Almost you yourself don't want to know what's inside.
But with the Ringo Kid, you only want to know what his desires are going to be fulfilled. You only want to know that he's going to make it out with Claire Trevor's Dallas and make it out and stand up against the oppression of Luke Plummer and the oppression of the journey itself. And only he could do this because he is that force of nature that's allowed to be as wild as everything else around him.
Only the consummation of Dallas and Ringo can ride off into the sunset. No one else can have that type of consummation.
And speaking of riding off into the sunset, John Wayne would go down in history after this picture. It would make him a known star, and it would be a film that he would owe his career to, so to speak, and John Ford would create a born Western hero with this picture from 1939. So those were the 2 talking pictures we compared, Stagecoach by John Ford and David Fincher's 7. I've been Dylan Miskovsky.
And I'm Blake Miskovsky. Keep your tune. Got more talking pictures to talk about.
Well, they're saved from the blessings of civilization. Yeah. Doc? I'll buy you a drink. Guess what?
Did you know that it would be good to watch Did You Know? Here's your chance.
Behind me is what is known as the 1914 Pump House, located right here on the Detroit River. According to the City of Windsor, this building was originally designed by the architectural firm Smith, Hinchman, and Grillis, and it was part of the city's municipal water system. Now, in 1871, a large fire broke out and destroyed 3 blocks of downtown Windsor. And as a result, a new municipal water system needed to be implemented. And this led to the addition of the 1914 Pump House. In 2001, the City of Windsor received a Human Resources Development grant to restore the Pump House. This was the first of 5 beacons within the Riverfront Park system, and it became the Dawn Beacon. The Pump House is still being used today. The more you know. For the MediaPlex, I'm Zachary Balog. If you're interested in a career in the media, then join us here at the MediaPlex.
Journalism enables people to be well informed. It's documenting history. It's an extraordinary way for people to be connected with their community.
What happens in the world affects us. What happens in our community affects us. What happens in the province affects us. And we get to be the eyes and ears and tell the stories.
Meeting new people, I'm learning about things that interest me.
Convergence means the merging together of print, radio, and television, and the web, and putting all different stories into 3 or 4 different platforms.
In 21st century newsrooms, journalists have to be able to do it all.
We ask every one of our reporters to tell stories in multiple ways.
There's a different style of writing for print than there is for radio, than there is for television. And it's really important that the information gets out that is true to those platforms.
We are one of the few, if not the only, program that is actually taking students to a live broadcast and giving them that opportunity and that experience.
I find that the students that come out of St. Clair College are already at or above where some of our broadcast employees have been.
I made the greatest decision I could 2 years ago by choosing this program because I have learned so much.
I would hands down recommend the program to someone considering it.
Based on literally hundreds of interns I've seen over the years, St. Clair students are better prepared.
I think it's that very comprehensive curriculum that we have that creates converged journalists that sets this journalism school apart.
One of the courses we offer here at the MediaPlex is public relations. Let's have a look.
So public relations is like being a bridge between an organization and their public. As this public relations expert, you are a liaison, so you have to connect the brand or the business or the company with their public in such a way that the public responds to them in a positive manner. So the advantages of taking public relations at St. Clair College is that we have access to the MediaPlex. Now the MediaPlex offers us a converged education. It's one of 3 in the world and the only one in Canada. What that means is that we're taught in film, broadcast, radio, there's graphic design, we do event planning, we write all sorts of press releases, we work in tandem with the journalism club. So at the end of everything, you can communicate any professional message across any medium. So what do you think about public relations?
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Zachary Balog.
And I'm Joelle Broussard, and you've been watching the MediaPlex Insider.
This has been a St. Clair College MediaPlex production.